Alright, today we're going to do a rear shock on a 2010 Chevy Traverse. To lift the car up, you'll need a jack, a stand for protection. You got a rear shock. I'm using impact because I'm going to be lazy. You need a 1/4 inch drive, 1/4 inch breaker bar. I have all the different deep sockets, American and metric, and then you're probably going to need this as well. And then if you don't have deep sockets, you can use large wrenches. First things first, before you ever lift the vehicle up, always push the parking brake. Alright, I usually like to jack it up pretty much right underneath the spring. Now that you have your jack underneath, set where you want it to be. Now you're going to loosen all the lug nuts before you take the tire off. And then that's so you can be able to get the tire off when you have it jacked up all the way. It's 7/8. That's what fits. We're using impact. Take the tire off. And then what I'll do is eventually I'll slide it underneath here and use it as support to support this whenever I jack this off. But really, this doesn't move that much. You're going to take this bolt out all the way across there, and you're going to take this bolt out here. If you're using wrenches, you want to wrench the nut off. If you're using impact, you just get to where you can get. I'm going to impact here and pull that one off. The bottom one, you're going to use a wrench from the inside, and you're going to use a wrench to hold on the outside, but you're going to take this nut off here. It helps if you clean the threads. It helps if you clean these threads off before you do this. It'll make life easier and lube them up a little bit. Alright, slide jacks. Your stand up there, jack stand. It's going to be an 18mm on that side. If you got a wrench, that's what you're going to want to wrench it off, is with the 18mm on that side while you're holding this side. This side's a 15mm, the bolt side. But since I have impact, I'm going, and it's easier from this side, I'm going to use my 15mm impact with the universal joint, and I'm just going to hold it here. Alright. You see this is off, the bolt's loose. That's good. We want to leave the bolt in until we're ready to take the shock out. For the bottom bolt, you got a 20mm here, a 21mm. I just went ahead and set this to 20. Got my 21 on my impact, and then just going to impact it off. You got your washer / spacer, so don't worry about that. You can keep that. You got your bolt. These are all galvanized, so they should not corrode. Then you take the bottom. Then you come here and pull this bolt out. The top bolt. Put that so you don't lose it. Kind of just barely threaded it back in together. Same. Barely thread it back together so you have it where exactly how it is. Typically I'll come here and I'll just bump it. Also helps to just go ahead and get a cheater bar and just pop it out. This car has 130,000 miles. How you can tell the shock is bad is you see it's not moving. I pressed it in and it's barely moving, and it gets to a part where it stops. See how it's pretty much stopped? It should be pushing out a lot faster than that for a good shock. These shocks are old. We're going to put in some newer shocks that are better. That won't have that problem. That's your rear shock. I typically, if there's label on it, I try to do label inward so you're not seeing it. Don't worry about the bottom just yet. You want to get the top into place. Too much. What I do is, make sure your threads aren't too dirty, everything's clean enough. Kind of barely put it back on just to hold it in place. Now we got to do the bottom. The trick to doing the bottom is as soon as you cut this is going to want to start springing down. So you want to get it close to where it's going to be. Alright, what you have here, it's called a spherical washer. If you look down here, you see that it has like a cone shape, but it's actually got more of a radius, a ball shape. So whenever your car is driving, this allows it to move freely. And that's what you want. You want the shock to have some movement, and really it's also an alignment tool too. It helps it line to the center. Alright, before we cut it, you get it ready. It's prepped. As soon as you cut it, this is start going to push down. You want to make sure you align this bolt and get it ready. So you're gonna come here, and it's gonna start moving. Once you get it down, it'll start kicking down. Spherical bearing or spherical washer, you're gonna put that in there in its place as it comes down, and then you're gonna, boom, slide the bolt through. All right, you got your nut and washer going back on the way it came off. Just get it started. Now that you have it started, all right, it's on there tight. You come back here and then you just tighten it down. Once you get it decent tight, I typically like to come here and know what I'm putting on it.
Okay.
That's it. You have officially replaced it. This is the way I found to do it, is you lift your feet, use your feet, and lift it up. Stand out. Now I use my impact to screw these on, but I do not use my impact to tighten them. I always tighten these by hand. Now that it's off the jack, come back here, just make sure it's good and tight, crisscross pattern. That's it.